Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League American League replay. We are still on the April 26th block. This is game number 124 of many, many games. It'll be the Blue Jays against the White Sox at Comiskey Park. And let's look at the numbers before we get started. Blue Jays enter the game 11-6. Chicago enters 10-5. Ballpark effects for Comiskey: singles are 1-9 for both lefties and righties. Home runs are 1-4 lefties and righties. Jose DeLeon, starter for the White Sox, is 2-1, and Jimmy Key for the Blue Jays is 4-0. Look at the pitcher-catcher interface. It's a +2 for the White Sox, so the Blue Jays might be looking to run a little bit, as DeLeon's a +4, so even the -2 from Karkovice could only make it a +2. Jimmy Key's a -6, so with 0 still makes that a -5, and that's going to shut down, or at least in theory, shut down a lot of the White Sox running game. Wild pitch and balk ratings for both starting pitchers. Wild pitch is a 6, balk's a 2 for DeLeon. Wild pitch is a 6, balk 8 for Jimmy Key. All right, let's get this game underway. Jose DeLeon will be finishing up the warm-up tosses. And leading things off for the Blue Jays will be shortstop Tony Fernandez. Let's get the full numbers on DeLeon. He's 2-1, but his ERA is 6.19. 16 innings pitched, 15 hits, 12 walks, and 17 strikeouts. So he's gotten some run support that's helped his 2 wins, but his ERA is pretty much ballooned. Tony Fernandez enters the game hitting .314 and 70 at-bats. No homers and 3 driven in. Hello, Dab. How you doing? Good to see you. And this game is underway. I was going to do the History Maker here and do this game tonight, but I'm going to flip-flop it, and we're going to have History Maker be the primetime game at roughly 7 o'clock Eastern, somewhere in that neighborhood. All right, so 5-6. Switch here batting left. That's a strikeout. So Tony Fernandez gets the whiff. 1 away, and that'll bring up Rance Mullenix, third baseman. Mullenix enters the game. .395 and 38 at-bats. No homers and 5 driven in. That's a 6-4, and that's a ballpark single check on the 6-4. It's 1-9. That's a 5, so it will be a single. Single for Mullenix off of the Comiskey Park ballpark card. Mullenix will not be held. He doesn't run well at all. Even the +2 hold thing's not going to help him any. So he will be on first base with 1 out, and that brings up Lloyd Mosby, the center fielder. He's hitting .310, 3 homers, 17 driven in. First havoc roll of the game. Nothing happening. So Mosby. 3-7 for Mosby. That's a base on balls. So DeLeon in a little bit of trouble. 2 base runners, and now the big guys are coming up, Bell and Barfield. Not what you want. Hello, Philip. How you doing? Don't want to put guys on base and leave it up to Bell and Barfield. Have to deal with them. George Bell on the replays hitting .269, 5 homers, and 19 driven in. Neither runner being held on base at all, so infielders are free to range as they like. 6-10, and that's a catcher X. Catcher in this case is Karkovice. He's a 2 with an E11. 2 and a 3. That could be interesting. Let's get the charts out for the catcher. 2 and a 3 for the catcher. 2 and a 3 is a W/G, and he's an E11, so he has to avoid 311 and 18, which he does. So now we go to W/G with people on base. So W/G, with runners on base, the pitcher uncorks a wild pitch. All runners advance 1 base. Okay, so we got a wild pitch by DeLeon, and that's going to move the runners into scoring position. Now you wonder if they might walk George Bell, set up a double play or force play anywhere, and pitch to Barfield. Well, you pick your poison on that one. Hello, Kenyon. How you doing? So, boy, what do you want to do here for if you are DeLeon? They're going to walk George Bell. That's 47 home runs, 300 average in real world. They're going to say, let's Jim Fregosi says we don't want any part of that. So they're going to intentionally walk him to load the bases. And that'll bring up Jesse Barfield. Does set up a double play, so they are playing back for that double play. Barfield's hitting .313, 4 homers and 18 driven in. But Barfield does have some ground ball A's on his card. 3-4, and that's a strikeout. So they'll take that as well. That's 2 down. Big strikeout there, and it does leave it up to Willie Upshaw in a clutch situation. Hello, Doug, and hello, GGG. Clutch situation for Upshaw, and in the clutch, he loses a hit on 310. That's his only anti-clutch roll is 310. So he has to avoid that. But on the replay, he's struggling. .197 and 66 at-bats. No homers and 4 driven in. Boy, what a time to break out of your slump if you're Willie Upshaw. It'd be right here. That's a 4-7. 4-7 is a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Manrique. He's a 3. 3 and a 17, he'll get to it. Now the question is, will he commit the error? As a second baseman, he's an E13. The 3 and a 17 is a G1, so do anything you want to on that one. His error rating is a 13. So he has to avoid 14, 3, and 18. That's all he's got to avoid. And he does. So it's good play. Since it's a G1, it would be the start of a double play if there were less than 2 outs. So we're going to say he flips to short for the fielder's choice, and that's going to end the inning. So Toronto leaves the bases loaded here in the first inning. Might come back to bite him. You never know. So it's 4-6, and that's going to end the inning. So DeLeon escapes potential trouble, and that'll bring on Jimmy Key. And the numbers on Jimmy Key are outstanding. 4-0 with a 1.41 earned run average. 32 innings pitched, 21 hits, 12 walks, and 22 strikeouts. And he is looking to get his 5th win in the month of April. Last start in the month of April, he could go 5-0 for the month of April, which would be really amazing. Well, here's Gary Rita. Speaking of amazing, he's hitting .367, a homer and 6 driven in. 6-4, and that's an in-home run chance 1-8, but that's an 18, so it's going to be a fly ball to left field that Bell will put away. So Key escapes potential trouble right there. Almost screwed one, but not quite. Brings up Jerry Royster. The White Sox have a right-handed heavy lineup. The only lefty in the lineup is Guillen. They got Royster in left, Calderon in right. Fisk is playing first base today. Hairston, your DH. Hewlett, Manrique, Guillen, and Karkovice. So on their bench for the Sox, they do have Darrell Boston, Greg Walker, Donnie Hill, and Ron Hassey. Some of those guys tend to start most times, but not against the lefty today. As they're against Jimmy Key, they want the righties in there. Here's Jerry Royster. He's hitting .444 and 18 at-bats, 2 homers and 3 driven in. So it's only 18 at-bats, so nothing to get overly excited about, but it's a good start. So 4-8 against Jimmy Key. He's going to line it to second base. Sharperson is right there. 2 down, and that'll send up Ivan Calderon, right fielder. And Calderon is hitting .358, 3 homers, 11 driven in. That's a 4-2, and it's a ground ball back to Jimmy Key. So an easy 1-2-3 inning for Jimmy Key as he continues to whittle away at that earned run average. We go to the second, no score from Comiskey. DeLeon back out. Will be facing designated hitter Fred McGriff. Splits time with Cecil Fielder. They kind of platoon in that DH role. But McGriff getting the majority of the bats because they face righties most of the time. So McGriff is hitting .222 and 36 at-bats. 3 homers, 5 driven in. It's a 5-5 to the lefty. It's a fly ball to left field, and Gary Reedus will put it away. I'm sorry, Royster will put it away. Reedus is in center. So Royster will put it away. 1 down. For Ernie Witt, the catcher, and Ernie Witt's hitting .250 in 48 at-bats. A homer and 6 driven in. It's a 6-5, and that's another fly to center. This time it will be Reedus in center to do it. 2 down for the number 9 hitter, Mike Sharperson. And on the replay, Sharperson is hitting .212, no homers and 5 driven in. Kind of the weak spot of the Blue Jays lineup, second base. 3-7, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So DeLeon takes care of the Jays. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the second. No score from Comiskey. Jimmy Key is out, and he'll be facing first baseman Carlton Fisk. He's a 4.25 at first base. So Fisk, I don't know how many games he actually played at first base, but he's there today. And on the replay, he's hitting 298, no homers and 5 driven in. 3-7, and that's a ballpark blast. It's 1-4, though. That's a 3, so that is long, and that is gone for Carlton Fisk. Fisk hits his first home run of the season, and it comes off Jimmy Key on a very profitable D20 roll of a 3. And look at that again. 3-7 is the ballpark blast. Comiskey Park 1-4, and that is a 3. So Carlton Fisk homers to give the White Sox the lead. Hello, Mr. RJL. Good to see you. I understand you're in your replay that tonight is the night off for you to rest your voice. So around 7-ish, I'll be doing the History Maker Cincinnati Reds game against the Phillies. Was going to do it here and do this one at prime time, but I figured might want to give History Maker Baseball a prime time slot. So that's why I decided on. All right, that brings up Jerry Hairston, the designated hitter. Limited duty, he's only had 2 at-bats. He's 0 for 2, but only 2 at-bats, so you can't really judge anything off of that. Hello, Pesky. How you doing? 3-11 against the left-hander, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-9. That's a 5, so the Comiskey ballpark effects are definitely helping the White Sox. They're getting the home cooking, and Jimmy Key not too happy about it, but that's just the way it is. Hairston will not be held, and Tim Hewlett steps up, third baseman. Hewlett is hitting .167, 1 homer and 4 driven in. That's a 2, possible balk or pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance on Witt. His pass ball rating is a 3, and that's a 19, so he blocks it. Here is the pitch to Hewlett. 3-6 to Hewlett is a ground ball shortstop A. That's a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. Just what Jimmy Key needed to help him get out of the jam and minimize the damage. 2 quick outs. And that brings up Fred Manrique, playing second base in place of Donnie Hill. He's only had 9 at-bats, but he's 4 for 9, a 4.44 average. No homers, 4 driven in. So he's made the most of his opportunities. 3-10, and he'll draw a base on balls. So Manrique reaches. He will have to be held. Hello, Kenyon. Let's see, 6 or 7 gets him to jump, but Jimmy Key is a -5, so even if he got the jump, it'd be less than a 1 to 10 chance. Hello, Chuck. So they will hold him. That -5 from Jimmy Key is that's just a deterrent big time. All right, so here's Ozzie Guillen hitting .291, a homer and 6 driven in. The only lefty in the lineup for the White Sox. 5-6 to the lefty is a strikeout. So Jimmy Key puts away Guillen, but Carlton Fisk hits the home run, first of the season. And at the end of 2 complete, it's the White Sox 1 and Toronto nothing. White Sox are not chopped liver. They started the season 10-5, only 1 game less than the Blue Jays. So it's not like it's a mismatch by any reason. All right, here's Tony Fernandez back to the top of the order. For Fernandez, he struck out his first chance. It's a 6-11 switch hitter batting left. That's a ballpark single check. It's 1-9. That's a 6. Boy, that D20 is really helping the ballpark effects. Almost everything is getting to be positive. So Fernandez will reach, and he might be looking to go. In fact, there's no might to it. 6 or 7, he will get the lead. 4, he does not get the lead, so he will stay where he is. And that brings up Rance Mullenix, but he is being held on, so the shortstop, Guillen, is responsible for holding him on. Here's Mullenix. 1-7. That's a strikeout. So Mullenix out on strike. 4th strikeout for DeLeon. Early on, he's got the strikeout pitch going. Trying to outduel Jimmy Key. Here's Lloyd Mosby. Nothing on the havoc. That's a 4-10. Mosby left-handed. And home run chance 1-14. That's a 5. It is long and it is gone. Lloyd Moseby has just given the Blue Jays the lead. Look at it again. 4-10 against DeLeon is an in-home run 1-14. That's a 5. And of course, Moseby does have normal power against the righties. So for Lloyd Moseby, that is home run number 4. And RBIs 18 and 19. And Toronto has grabbed the lead 2-1. 4th home run by Moseby. 2-run shot. Blue Jays lead it 2-1. All right, here is George Bell. Bell was intentionally walked his first time up, so this is his first real at bat. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. That's a 3-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to third. Hewlett will handle it. 2 down. So 2 away. And that brings up Jesse Barfield. Barfield against DeLeon struck out his first chance. That's a 5-8, and that's another strikeout. So DeLeon with yet another strikeout, but the 2-run home run off the bat of Lloyd Moseby. It's giving the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the third. And giving Jimmy Key a lead is dangerous. Here's Karkovice. He's a great front runner. When he gets the lead, he's really hard to deal with. Here's Karkovice. Karkovice is 0 for 21 on the season. He has not yet gotten a hit. In real world, he only hit 071 in 85 at-bats. And in 21 at-bats, he's 0 for 21. He did walk 3 times, so he has reached base 3 times, struck out 9. But the 0 for 21 is definitely a little staggering. But he's in there for his defense. That's a 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's Moseby. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E7 in center field. So a center fielder E7. Oops, wrong screen. Or wrong page there. Center fielder E7, 3, 4, 15, and 18. I'm sorry, 3, 4, 15, 17, and 18, basically. And that's an 8, so he'll make that play easily. Does Moseby. 1 away. And that brings up Mr. Reedus. And Reedus flew to left his first chance. 4-6 against Jimmy Key. He's going to fly to center this time, and Moseby will handle that one as well. So Moseby kind of doing it all here, defensively and offensively. And here's Jerry Royster. Line to second his first chance. 5-11 is a ballpark single again. And again, the D20 is low, so these ballpark effects are coming up, yes, every time with this low D20. This black D20 is hitting the low numbers for sure. Royster will be held, but he won't try to go anywhere because even if he gets the lead, it would be a 1-8, and they're not worth that risk. So, like I said, Key, that -5 is putting the kibosh on the stolen bases. But he will be held, and here is Calderon, who grounded back to Key his first chance. That's a 1-9, and that's a 1 for a double, but anything else he flies to center. So Lloyd Moseby will make the third put out of the inning as he brings in all 3 outs to end the inning. And after 3 complete, it is Toronto 2 and the White Sox 1. DeLeon and Key both have 7 for their fatigue factors, so they're definitely in good shape as far as that goes. Hello, Joel. How you doing? Here's Upshaw, and Upshaw reached on a fielder's choice his first time up that ended the first inning. It's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. Another one for DeLeon. Boy, DeLeon now has 6 strikeouts, but he's on a losing end of a 2-1 game. Made that one mistake pitch to Moseby. And here's McGriff. 1-7 for McGriff, and he will strike out. Strikeout number 7 for DeLeon. And that brings up the catcher, Ernie Witt. Flew to center his first chance. Whoa, we got hop and dice again. We got to re-roll that. Don't know why they're doing that. Be a little more careful when I put him in there. 2-5, and that is a pop out to the third baseman. Whoops. Pop out to Hewlett to end the inning. That's nothing there. So nothing there. 3 up and 3 down. Bottom of the fourth we go. And it'll be Fisk to lead off. He hit his first home run of the season back in the second inning to lead off the second. Now he's leading off the fourth. Going to try to do the same. He had 23 home runs in the 87 season. Got his first one in the second inning. It's a 3-10, and that's a 1-19 single. So, yep, that's going to be a single for Carlton Fisk. He is 2 for 2. Obviously not going anywhere. He will not be held. And the DH, Hairston, is up, and Hairston singled his first time up, then was erased on a double play. 2-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Key gets the strikeout, 1 away. And here is Hewlett hitting to that double play his first time up. He's got a chance to really do it again. The situation is prime for it if Jimmy Key can get the ground ball. That's a 4-10, and not a ground ball, but a fly ball to Mosby again. Easy play for Mosby. 2 down. Mosby has 4 putouts already in center field. Here's Manrique. He walked his first chance. So 1-6 against the lefty. He's going to strike out. And for Jimmy Key, that is strikeout number 3. And at the end of 4, it's still 2-1 Toronto. Nip and tuck. DeLeon pitching a little bit better than I thought he would, but Jimmy Key's pitching just about the same. DeLeon, especially with these strikeouts, very surprised. He's already has 7 strikeouts in just 4 innings, but he's on the losing side of a 2-1 game. That 2-run homer from Mosby, he has Mosby to thank for that. Sharperson 2-6, and it's a ground ball to Key, and it's short, 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to flip the order to Fernandez, who's 1 for 2. Scored on the home run from Mosby his last time up after getting a base hit. It's a 3-6, and that's going to be a 1-out walk. So Mosby will be looking to get the lead once again. And he needs a 6 or a 7 to do so. And does not get it, so he cannot get the lead. And that brings up Mullenix. Struck out his last time up, but he is 1 for 2. That's a 5-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's trouble. That's Reedus, and he's a 4 in center field. Not the best range. Whoops. Not the best range. But a 16 will help. 4 and a 16 is going to be just fine. That's going to be an F2. So his error rating in center is an E8. So E8, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 15, 16, and 18. So 3, 4, 15, 16, and 18. And he does. So good play for Mr. Gary Reedus. Whoops, that was in center, not in right. Good play for Reedus for 2 down. And it's going to bring up Mosby. Got a chance to hit another 2-run homer, perhaps. I'm sure DeLeon will be a little bit more careful to Mosby this time around. 1-3, and it gets him to ground it to third. Hewlett has it, throws to Manrique at second for the fielder's choice, 4-6, and that's going to end the inning. So bottom of the 5th we go, still 2-1, nip and tuck all the way. Key back out. Be facing Guillen, Karkovice, and Reedus. That's a 4-2 to the lefty, and that's a leadoff walk. Can come back to bite you. Leadoff walk. Guillen, if you wanted to try to get the lead, it would be a 1 to an 11. So he's going to see if he can get the lead. He needs a 6 or a 7 to get that lead. He does. He gets a 6, so he gets it. So he's an 18, minus 2 for being held is a 16, then the minus 5 there is an 11. So 1 to 11, he steals it. And he does, and it's a possible throwing error on Witt. His T rating is a 4, and it is a 4. So Guillen getting aggressive, not only steals second base, but causes a errant throw by Ernie Witt. So not deterred by that minus 5. Guillen aggressive, gets to third base with nobody out, and now the infield is going to have to come in. Here's Karkovice. I'd rather not have Karkovice up there, but my general rule is you don't pinch hit before the 7th inning. So they're going to have to deal with Karkovice. The infield is in, but what a great time it would be for Karkovice to get his first hit of the season. It's a 1-8, but instead he's going to strike out, one away. At least he didn't do any damage. He didn't force Guillen at the plate or anything like that. So he still got the runner at third with the infield in. 1 out for Gary Reedus. Flown to left and flown to center. If he hits another fly ball, it should be a sacrifice fly. 4-3, and that is a fly ball left field X. That's George Bell. He's a 2, so we'll got to roll that D20 and see how deep the fly ball is on a 2. So on a 2, the only way he prevents the sacrifice fly is a 16 or higher. If you get it into the 15 or lower, it's going to score a run. That's an 8. So not only it is an F2, so it will be a sacrifice fly, assuming there's no error. Bell's error rating is an E13, though, so he's got to be careful. 4, 6, 12, 15, and 17. And that is a total of 14, and he's an E13. There is no 14 there, but it will be a sacrifice fly as it is deep enough to score the run. And we have a tie ball game. That run is unearned as of now, depending on what Royster does. But right now it's unearned. But the White Sox will take it either way you go, as they have tied the score up. And here's Jerry Royster. That's a 3-9, and that is would have been a clutch hit had he been up here without the sacrifice fly. That would have turned to a clutch hit, as it is the fly to left. So that run is unearned off of Jimmy Key. But the White Sox have tied the ball game at the end of 5. We are tied at 2 apiece. Hello, DJ from the left coast. So 5-5 is our. I'm sorry, 2-2 is our score through 5. And George Taco Bell will lead things off here in the 6th for the Jays. Bell was intentionally walking. He's grounded to third. 5-5 is a fly to right field. And Calderon puts it away. 1 down for Jesse Barfield. Barfield struck out twice, trying to avoid the hat trick. 3-10, and that's a fly to center, so at least he didn't strike out, as Reedus puts it away. But 0 for 3. Not a good day for Barfield so far. Here's Upshaw. He hasn't done it much better. 4-12, and that's a 2-out walk. Keeps the inning going. Upshaw will be held. In fact, to get the lead, he needs a 3 through 7, but a 9 or a 10, he's going to be caught stealing. But they're going to try for the lead anyway. See if we can get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. That's a 4, so he gets the lead. He's a 15, being held makes him a 13, but the +2 brings it back to a 15. So 1-15, he will steal second base. And boy, that's a 4. It almost turned over to 18, but it fell back to 4. So the stolen base is good. And shortstop Guillen is protesting, saying he tagged him, but umpire says, no, you missed him. So Upshaw gets a rare stolen base. Didn't have very many stolen bases, but he gets one here. And that brings up Fred McGriff in a clutch situation. And in the clutch, McGriff he loses a single on 3-2. That's his only clutch result. But he'd like to have his column 2. That's where he's got most of his damage. But he got 4 on DeLeon. 4-4 is a catcher X. So the catcher, Karkovice, is a 2. 2 and a 12. So we go to the catcher results. 2 and a 12 is going to be a pop out unless there's an error. His error rating's an 11. So he's got to avoid 3, 11, and 18. Otherwise, it'll just be a pop out. And he does. So it's a pop out to Karkovice. And that will end the inning. So the stolen base doesn't add up to anything. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still tied at 2. Jimmy Key facing Calderon, Fisk, and Hairston, heart of the order. or the White Sox. And if the Blue Jays do bring in a right-handed relief pitcher, the White Sox have a ton of lefties on the bench ready to hit. 5-7, and that is a ground ball. Second base X. That's Sharperson. He's a 4. That could be trouble. Sharperson as a 4. 4 and 18, though. He'll get to that. And his error chance is an E23. E23. I remember this because in my 77 White Sox replay, George Order was a 23, and I kept rolling 11s all the time. So 11 or a 17 are your error chances. That's a 7, so it's good play for Sharperson. 1 down. So 1 away, and that brings up Pudge Fisk. He's homered and singled off Jimmy Keys. He's definitely had the at-bats to unlock Key, that's for sure. 2-8, and this time, though, he will ground it to short. Fernandez takes care of him. 2 down. And that brings up Hairston, the DH. 1 for 2. 2-7, and that's another strikeout for Key to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning. The end of 6. The end of 6, we're tied at 2. And this will start the fatigue chances for both pitchers now as we hit the 7th inning. We will be getting to the fatigue chances. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. And leading off will be Ernie Witt. Witt is 0 for 2. 5-6. That's a strikeout. Another strikeout for DeLeon. Boy, he has that strikeout thing going all the time. So 1 away. And that'll bring up Sharperson, second baseman. Sharperson is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That's a 2-6 against the right-hander, and he's going to ground it to Guillen at short. He's 0 for 3 now. As the pitching duel continues, and here is Fernandez. He's a threat to run if he gets on. 1-9, and he will get on with a single to right field. So a 2-out single for Fernandez, and he's going to be looking to get the lead. He's tried twice and failed. He's going to try again. Needs that 6 or a 7. Doesn't get it. Boy, he just cannot get the lead off of DeLeon for whatever reason. And here's Mullenix. That's a 112, and that is a line out to second base plus an injury. So Mullenix will line out to Manrique, and he's going to have to leave the ball game, or potentially leave the ball game, I should say. The injury chart, a 1 to 4, he stays in the game. Anything else higher than 4, he's got to go. And so he's got to go. So Mullenix will have to leave the game. As we head to the 7th inning stretch, and I will have to figure out who I want to bring in as a replacement for Mullenix. But we do have the 7th inning stretch, that's for sure. And the score is tied at 2 apiece. So let's see who they might want to do for a third baseman replacement. Kelly Gruber and Garth Orge are both candidates. That's for sure. But first, we have the 7th inning stretch. All right. So Kelly Gruber will be your new guy for the Blue Jays. He will be the new third baseman, and his ranking is a 3E24, so that's better than what's there. So he's going to be a 3E24, Will Gruber. 3E24, and he runs at a 15, so he runs a little bit better. All right. So Gruber will take over from Mullenix. And now we will go to Jimmy Key. Now, we are in the 7th inning, so when you get to Karkovice, they will pinch hit for Karkovice, almost certainly, as pinch hitting is now allowed. So Jimmy Key will be facing Tim Hewlett, Fred Manrique, and Ozzie Guillen. But I do need to put on the computer that Kelly Gruber is now in the game. Final thing to do to make that up to speed. Now we're straight. All right, so here's Hewlett, and Hewlett is 0 for 2. That's a 3-7, and he's going to strike out, so he's 0 for 3. Hewlett out on strikes. Still in this 2-2 game, both teams with just 4 hits, so the line score is very similar. 2-4-1 for the Blue Jays, 2-4-0 for the White Sox. Here's Manrique. It's a 1-7, and he's going to strike out. So Jimmy Key starting to pile up the strikeouts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts for Jimmy Key. And here's Ozzie Guillen. That's a 2-3 for Guillen. He's going to line it to second. Snagged by Sharperson, and that's going to end the inning. So Karkovice will catch the 8th, but then he will come out, and they will pinch hit for him in the bottom of the 8th. But we go to the 8th, still tied at 2. DeLeon, only 1 ding against his point of weakness, so he will stay out there. No question, he will stay out there. And let's see, he will be facing Lloyd Mosby, Bell, and Barfield. So the heart of the Toronto lineup is right in front of him. White Sox do have bullpen activity. They do have right-hander Bob James and left-hander Ray Searage, both loosening in the bullpen. It's a 6-7 against the lefty, and that's a walk. Not a good start for DeLeon, so the bullpen in the midst of warming up, and they're trying to get ready as quick as they can. Get the lead at 2 through 5, gets them the lead. Does not get the lead, so he will have to hold, and here's George Bell. Bell is 0 for 2. It's a 5-9, and that's a ground ball second base C, so it will advance the runner. It acts like a sacrifice bunt, pretty much, as it is a ground ball second base C, so that C was very important. Gets the runner Mosby in scoring position with less than 2 outs. And Mosby runs at a 17, so he will have to be held at second base. And with Barfield the batter, that means the second baseman Manrique is responsible for holding the runner. So if you get a ground ball second base X chance, Manrique will be affected. Here's Barfield. He's 0 for 3. That's a 6-7, and that's another walk for DeLeon. He is getting very close to fatigue. And with Willie Upshaw coming up, that's going to be it for DeLeon. With the lefty coming up, the White Sox, Jim Fregosi is making that slow walk to the mound. And he will be taking the ball from Jose DeLeon. Hello, Denny. He will be taking the ball from Jose DeLeon, and Ray Searage, a left-hander, will be coming on for the White Sox. Ray Searage. And we'll get the numbers on Searage. Can't close the book on DeLeon because he's got 2 guys on base that he's responsible for. So Searage will try to get out of the jam. On the replay, Searage is 0-0, no saves, and a 4.05 earned run average. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So lefty-lefty matchup with Willie Upshaw. And we'll get Searage's hold rating too, because that could be important as well. He's a -5, so that's definitely a -5. Big difference there as far as the hold rating goes. All right, so Upshaw with 2 on and 1 out. Searage looking for the double play, to strike out, anything like that. That's a 3-4, and he didn't find it. That's a 1-12 triple. That's a 15. It would be a double to center field. Double to center field by Upshaw. That will score Mosby from second. And then at first base, Barfield runs at a 13. Not being held is a 14. Center fielder arm is a +1, is a 15. So they will send him 1-15, and they're going to have to throw through. They can't let this go through. So it's a 1-15. He's going to score. And he does. And taking third on the throw is Upshaw. That's the danger of throwing through, but they had to try it. They couldn't just let him give him the run like that. So it's a 2-run double for Willie Upshaw off of Ray Searage, and Searage did not get the job done, obviously. And those 2 runs are charged to DeLeon, so now we can close the book on DeLeon. He's going to give up 4 runs, all earned, and be on the hook for the loss potentially. Here's McGriff. He is a scheduled hitter, but if they pinch hit with Fielder, they will go to the right-hander out of the bullpen. So it's just a matter of what Toronto likes. Do they like McGriff against the lefty, or they want to force the hand? So I think they're going to force the hand of the White Sox. And so McGriff is being called back. And Big Cecil Fielder will be the pinch hitter, taking over as the DH. So now Fielder takes over as the DH. Cecil Fielder. And you know that's going to prompt a move from the White Sox, as Fragosi's already hopped out of the dugout and is on his way to the mound. And he will be bringing on Bob James, the right-handed reliever, to face Cecil Fielder and try to keep the score where it is without getting out of hand. So Searage is out of there, and Bob James will be coming on for the Sox. It'll be a righty-on-righty matchup. So James, and he's a +2, so that makes it a 0 on the hold. So on the replay, Bob James is 0-1 with 2 saves, but a 9.45 earned run average. 7 innings pitched, 13 hits, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Cecil Fielder on the replay is hitting .476 in 21 at-bats, 6 homers, and 14 runs driven in. Infield is in. They could think about walking Fielder here and pitching to Witt and Sharperson. That's a thought as well. Could set up a double play, which could get him out of the inning. So that's what they're going to do. They're not going to mess around. Fragosi is going to walk Fielder intentionally, set up a double play, and Ernie Witt could hit into that double play, which could end the inning. Danger putting more guys on base, but you got to do something. That's a 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's trouble, though, because Reedus is a 4 in center field. Even if he catches this, it's almost certainly going to be a sacrifice fly. 4 and a 4, he's not even going to catch it. 4 and a 4 is going to be trouble for the White Sox. That's what you get for putting a 4-rated center fielder out there. 4 and a 4 is a double 2 stars, so that will score the run and move Fielder to third base at a minimum, as long as there's no error involved. And let's see, in center field, he is an E8, so he's got to avoid 3, 14, 15, 16, and 18. And he does, barely. So the double by Ernie Witt. And Bob James is not the answer either, apparently. Blue Jays have taken 3 runs this inning, take a 5-2 lead, and the infield will be in for Sharperson. Infield is in. Runners second and third, 1 out. Infield has to be in. No choice. 5-8, and that is a strikeout for James. That's a big one. Big strikeout for James. 2 down, and it's going to be Tony Fernandez. Boy, do you walk Fernandez and pitch to Gruber is another thought. They will. Fernandez, 322 hitter in real world. Gruber, 235 in real world. Plus, you got the righty on righty matchup. So, yet another intentional walk. And that will load the bases. Playing the percentages is all they're doing. Playing the percentages. So, Gruber, if James can get Gruber here, it keeps him in the game. It's only 5-2, so they're still technically in it. But they cannot allow any more runs to score. That's imperative. 6-9, and that is trouble for Bob James. 6-9, a 1, a triple, 2 to 20 is a single, 2 stars, and I believe that's going to probably do it for James and the White Sox, as 2 more runs will score, and that's going to be it for Bob James. He can't get the job done either. Toronto will bat around, as Mosby, who led off the inning with the walk, will come up to bat again. Now the question is, who do the White Sox bring in? Well, let's take a look. They got left-hander Joel McKeon. He's terrible, but he is a lefty, so they're going to bring him in. And when the game gets out of hand, that's who you bring in, are your terrible guys. So Gruber, 2-run single. It is now 7-2, and Joel McKeon will be coming on for the White Sox as their bullpen has imploded. DeLeon pitching so well, but the bullpen has just imploded. And McKeon, 3rd pitcher to use in this inning by the White Sox. Actually, the 4th pitcher, because DeLeon pitched part of the inning. So it's the 4th pitcher this inning. What a long 8th inning we've had. And let's see, McKeon 0-0 with a 3.18 earned run average, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So he's pitched pretty well, all things considered. And he's got to get Mosby. 6-9, and that's a ballpark blast. It's 1-4. That's a 1. The D20 strikes again, and Lloyd Mosby, his 5th home run of the season, his 2nd of the game. It's a 3-run bomb as the dastardly D20 comes up low again, and it just got from bad to worse for the White Sox. 3-run home run from Lloyd Mosby. It is now 10-2, 8 runs in the inning. 8 runs in the inning for the Blue Jays as things have gotten totally out of hand. Here's George Bell. 1-5 for Bell, and that's a home run. Solid, straight-up home run. 1-5 against the lefty. It's right there in bold print. 1-5. That is a home run for George Bell, his 6th of the season. And RBI number 20. So McKeon is coming and faced 2 batters and giving up 2 home runs. But got to take one for the team. So here's Barfield. 6-5, and that's an in-home run chance against the right-hander, and that's gone. So Barfield homers off of McKeon. So 3 consecutive home runs off of Joel McKeon. And for Barfield, that is home run number 5, RBI number 19 on the season. 9 runs in the inning. It's 11-2. And now we're back to Upshaw. .411, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9. That's a 13. It's mercifully over. Line out to second to end the inning, but a 9-run 8th inning for Toronto. And it's actually a 10-run inning. Did I count it up right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, well, it's a 10-run inning. My bad. And if you remember the rant from ID Jester, when 10 runs are scored in the inning, the Strat computer does not acknowledge that. They put an asterisk there. An asterisk. And I'll try to show it on this thing here if I can. I don't know how well it'll show up. But anyway, Strat computer, if you can see it, let me see if I can get it where you can see it. Hopefully. Don't know how well this will show up. Get it as close as I can. Hopefully. I don't know if this will show up very well or not. We'll see, because my stand's in the way. But I'm trying to prove a point that ID Jester was trying to prove. And I don't know how well it shows up. But in that top of the 8th, there is an asterisk there. Boys, I don't want to move the camera around. I want to keep it stationary because that's where I want it. But it's hard to show it on here though. So just take my word for it, folks. It's an asterisk. So just like ID Jester said in his little rant, they don't have the capability of doing a double digit. It's like the Y2K thing hit them or something. I don't know. But Joel McKeon, first time I've seen one pitcher give up 3 back-to-back home runs like that. And I think it's the first time I've ever had a 10-run inning in a game. It's now 12-2. Let's close the book on some of these relief pitchers for the White Sox. And that includes all of them. DeLeon's going to take the loss, and a tough luck loss it's going to be because he pitched pretty well. 7 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned. Walked 6, struck out 8. So the walks kind of got him in trouble a little bit. Searage didn't get anybody out. Gave up a hit and a run. Nothing else. James came in, pitched a third of an inning. Gave up 2 hits and 4 runs, including 2 walks in that with a strikeout. And McKeon pitched, let's see here. I didn't get the last out here. So let me do that for Upshaw so I can finish it out here. All right, now I can get to McKeon. He pitched a third of an inning, does McKeon. And he's going to give up 3 hits and 3 runs. All 3 were home runs, obviously. So Jimmy Key obviously staked to a big lead. 12-2. So basically they can just let Jimmy Key pitch as long as he wants or take him out if they want to rest him up. And you know what? With the 12-2 game, I don't see any reason to have Jimmy Key go any further. Might as well give him the rest of the game off and let somebody else pitch. Save his arm for the rest of the season. No need to wear him out. So the Blue Jays will go to the bullpen, and they'll get a scrub, Jose Nunez, to come in. Because you got a 12-2 lead, you can bring in your scrubs. And so Jose Nunez will be coming in for the Blue Jays. Of course, Karkovice will be pinch hit for by Ron Hassey, who will stay in the game to catch. So Hassey will come in and catch. And coming in to pitch will be Nunez. Nunez is a +2, so that's a +2, but they're not stealing anywhere with this kind of score. Let's get the final numbers on Jimmy Key, as he will improve to 5-0 on the season. Obviously, the player of the month for the month of April is Jimmy Key, without question. He's going to go 7 innings, give up 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of which were earned. Walked 2, struck out 7. So he's definitely primed to go 5-0, barring a miracle. And Karkovice will be pinch hit for by Ron Hassey, who will stay in the game to catch. So Nunez is 0-0 with 11.12 earned run average, 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. Ron Hassey, a 189 average, a homer and 4 driven in. Oh, we got jumping dice again. 6-11 against Nunez. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Fernandez. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. Checking the error chance on an E17 shortstop. And that's going to be a 15, 16, or 17. That's it. That's a 11, so he gets it. No problem. So Hassey grounds out to Fernandez for out number 1. Brings up Gary Redus. 4-6 against Nunez. Struck him out. 2 down. And that brings up Royster. But I think they're going to pinch hit with a lefty. Not that it matters, but just because. So they will bring in Steve Lyons, and Lyons will take over in left field, where he's a 308. So he'd be a 308. Will Lyons. So Lyons will pinch hit and take over in left field. Steve Lyons. And on the replay for Lyons, he enters the game hitting 333s, 3 for 9 on the season, no home runs and 1 driven in. This is where you give your bench guys some at-bats. 5-5's a walk, so he reaches on a walk. That'll bring up Calderon, but they're going to call Calderon back and bring on another bench player, Daryl Boston. So Daryl Boston will get the chance to hit. So Boston will pinch hit. And Boston is a 2 -1 and E4. So Boston. And he will actually go to left field, and then they'll bring in, or they'll move Reedus to right field, where he'll be a 3. So Reedus will move to right field because Boston's not rated for right field, just for left field. So Daryl Boston will come on after the Lions walk. He will hit for Calderon. And on the replay, Daryl Boston is hitting 286, 3 homers, 9 driven in. Nunez to Boston. It's a 6-4. And that's an in-home run chance. 1-11. That's a 2. It's gone. Daryl Boston, a pinch hit home run. Pinch hit 2-run homer for Daryl Boston. And for Boston, that is home run number 4 on the replay. 2-run homer. Cuts the lead to 12-4. Fisk will not bat. Greg Walker will come up and bat and take over at first base, where he's a lot better. So Greg Walker, who normally plays first base, will pinch hit for Fisk. So Walker. So Walker pinch hits in the 8th and plays first base in the 9th. That's Greg Walker. Get the numbers on Walker. That leaves Donnie Hill as the only bench player remaining. So Walker on the replay is hitting a $161, a homer, and 8 driven in. 2-9, and that's a good chance there. 1-14 is a double, so pinch hit double for Walker. Keeps the inning going. Brings up Jerry Hairston, who will also be called back, I believe. Oh, no, they're actually going to let him hit. I take that back. He didn't get many at-bats, so they're going to let him hit. They will let Hairston hit against Nunez. They're hoping, Toronto is hoping Nunez can finish the game. They don't want to use another relief pitcher if they can avoid it. 5-2 switch hitter is a ground ball first base C, so that's a 3-1 putout to end the inning. But 2 runs come in to make it 12-4. But the Blue Jays large and in charge. And now on the computer, I got to make all these changes in defense. So Hassey stays in the game to catch. Reedus will go from center field to right field. Daryl Boston will stay in the game to play right field. Greg Walker will stay in the game to play first base. And Lyons will be in left field. I'm sorry, Lyons will be, where did I say Lyons is going to be? Lyons will be in, I got to figure out who's the center fielder. We're going to keep Reedus in center field. So Lyons will be in right field. So I had a slight boo-boo there. Lyons in right, Boston in left, and Reedus stays in center. So I kind of had that mixed up a little bit, but now we got it straight. And Cecil Fielder is your batter for Toronto. Who's going to pitch for Chicago is the question. Nobody really wants to come out there and pitch, but I guess the sacrificial lamb will be Jimmy Wynn. Not that he wants to come out there, but he is anyway. So Jimmy Wynn will get the call to pitch. And on the replay, Wynn is 1-0 with an ERA of 9. 10 innings pitched, 9 hits, 11 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So the walk has been his big bugaboo. And Cecil Fielder, who was intentionally walked his first time up, will actually get his first at bat of the game. So 6-7, and that is another walk. So Fielder has walked twice. This one unintentional. And that brings up Ernie Witt, the catcher. And they will call him back, I do believe. Or will they? Do they want Witt to hit? On a big game like this, why not clear the benches? So Jeff DeWillis, the backup catcher, is going to hit for Witt. With this big lead, they figure, what the hey. So DeWillis will hit. DeWillis hitting 143. He's 1 for 7 on the season. 143 average. But against the Sox bullpen, he might catch a break. Never know. 1-2. He's going to strike out, though. So he strikes out. That is DeWillis. So DeWillis strikes out for 1 away, and here is Sharperson. It's a 4-9 against Wynn. It's ground ball second base C. That'll move the runner to second. So Fielder will take second base on the ground ball to second. And that'll flip it over to Tony Fernandez. .18 for Fernandez is a single to center field, but with the way the fielder runs, they will hold him there. There's no sense trying to score him. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for Kelly Gruber. Came in for the injured Mullenix. Hard to say it's a clutch situation, but by definition it is. 4-8, and that's trouble for Jimmy Wynn. 4-8 is going to be a 1-6 double. That's a 7. It'll be a single 2 stars, but that'll score the run as Fielder will come in to score. RBI single for Gruber. Score is now 13-4. And Mosby, your batter. And I don't think, what do the Blue Jays have left on the bench? You got Rick Leach, but he can't play center field. Let's see if Barfield could. But boy, Mosby's got 2 home runs. I'm going to give him a chance to get a 3rd home run. I don't want to take him out. So we'll leave him in there just in case he gets a chance to get 3 home runs. 2-4. Now he's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. Fielder's choice, 6-4. So DeWillis will come in and catch for Toronto. Catch for Witt. Nunez is still going to try to finish the game, if possible. And coming up for the Sox. Yeah, you do get these games, RJL. There's nothing you can do about them. It's kind of hard to make them entertaining when they're this far gone. But what are you going to do? All right, so Timmy Hewlett will lead things off against Nunez here in the bottom of the 9th of now a 13-4 game. 3-9, and that is a ground ball to short. Fernandez handles it, 1 away for Manrique. And I'm not going to pinch it for Manrique because he didn't get that many at-bats to begin with. So he's only had 11 so far. I'll give him as many at-bats as possible. 1-9, and he will single. So Manrique will get the base hit. Here's Ozzie Guillen. Now we could possibly pinch hit for Guillen with Donnie Hill, the last remaining White Sox bench player. could do that. Although I think we're just going to stick with Guillen and leave it at that. I think we had enough pinch hitting for one day. So Guillen, that's a 2, chance of a balk or a pass ball. Chance for a pass ball, and the new catcher, DeWillis. See what his pass ball rating is. DeWillis's pass ball rating is a 3. Nope, no pass ball. Here's Guillen. 5-6 to the left-hander is a walk. So boy, Nunez having trouble trying to finish out this game. Blue Jays really don't want to have to go to another pitcher if they can avoid it. They'd really rather use who they have. Here's Ron Hassey. Nunez, he's fortunately, he has a lot of fatigue to go through, so he's not anywhere near being tired just yet. Hassey, 310. That's a hit by pitch plus injury. So he's plunked to load the bases. And the interesting part is the White Sox have no other catchers, but there's no way in the hell it's going to extra innings. So they don't have to worry about that anyway, but they have no other catchers. And since it's a 4, so he actually stays in the game. So that actually worked out well for them, I think. Here's Rios. Now, Toronto does have the bullpen going as Nunez is struggling, so they may go ahead and make the move just to get the game over with. And they will go to right-hander Mark Foghorn Eichhorn. So Eichhorn is 0-0 with a save and a 4.97 earned run average. They certainly aren't using Tom Hinkie, that's for sure. But Nunez is coming out for Eichhorn. Bases loaded for Eichhorn with only 1 out. So he's 0-0 with a save and a 4.97 earned run average. 13 innings pitched, 18 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So Eichhorn to face Rios. 5-10, and that's going to be a walk. He's going to walk in a run. So that will force in the run on a bases-loaded walk. White Sox only have 1 hit in the inning, but they've got the bases loaded and a run in already because of the 2 walks and the hit by pitches. So bases are still loaded. It's now 13-5. And here's Steve Lyons. Blue Jays really don't want to have to go to Tom Hinkie if they can avoid this. 2-4 for Lyons, and that's a ground ball second base A. That'll do it. 4-6-3 double play, and this game is mercifully over. White Sox get a meaningless run here in the bottom of the 9th, and that's it. Now we can get the gory details as we go to the final box score to get all the numbers. Jimmy Key improves to 5-0 and lowers his ERA to 1.38. So he is obviously by default the player of the month in this replay. Nunez, I'm mistaken, I forgot I took him out. So he only goes an inning and a third, not 2 innings. Inning and a third for Nunez. Inning and a third. Eichhorn goes the Eichhorn goes the 2/3 of an inning. A walk and nothing else. Nunez an inning and a third, 3 hits and 3 runs. All earned, 2 walks and a strikeout. Jimmy Wynn in the 9th, 1 inning pitch, 2 hits and a run. Walked 1, struck out 1. So final line score, it is... Now, interestingly, when I go to the box score, the 10 is there in the 8th inning. It's not an asterisk. It is a 10. So to be fair to Strat-O-Matic, they did give the 10. And I don't know if this will show up on the computer or not. We'll find out. I mean, on the stream from this computer or not. I don't know how well this shows up. I'll put it up here as best as I can. Take this ring light out. Maybe that will help. Let's see if I can get this over far enough. May not, but well, you know what? I'll just do this. How about that? Maybe that'll help it. I don't know how well this shows up, but right here, There's a 10. There's a 10 right there. So it didn't do the asterisk there. It did the 10. So at least in that instance they did. But in the game screen itself, while the game is going on, it was an asterisk there. So, we do say that ID's opinions are valid on that. All right, so let's look at the rest of the box score. 13 runs, 12 hits and an error for the Blue Jays, 5-7-0 for the White Sox. Blue Jays improved to 12-6. White Sox dropped to 10-6. DeLeon falls to 2-2, and his ERA jumps to 5.79. Jimmy Key is now 5-0 with an ERA of 1.38. Home runs in the game. Mosby hit 2 of them, his 4th and his 5th. And I would say give him the player of the game. He had 2 home runs, plus scored another run. So despite how well Jimmy Key pitched, I think Lloyd Mosby might be the player of the game because he kind of got him going with the offense. That 2-run homer started it, and then he continued on. So I'm giving the player of the game to Lloyd Mosby myself. Left on base, the Blue Jays left on 8. White Sox left on 6. Mosby 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 3 runs scored, and 5 runs driven in. So player of the game, in my mind, is Lloyd Mosby. He is your player of the game. Well, Ernest, I don't know how entertaining it was. It was a blowout, but if you got entertained, then that's cool. I had fun despite the blowout. I just enjoy playing Strat-O-Matic, so I don't care who wins, and I don't care if I prefer they be close games, but no big deal if it's not. Let's see, anything else pertinent? Probably not. I think that kind of covers everything. Boy, that 10-run 8th, though, that was ugly on the score sheet. So that finishes that ball game. Next game on Strat-O-Matic, April 26th date. We will be on the left coast. I don't know if DJ is still around from the left coast, but we'll be in the left coast. We'll be at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum to see Seattle take on the Oakland A's. Mike Trujillo for the Seattle Mariners, Jose Rijo for the Oakland A's. That'll be the next Strat-O-Matic video, which will probably be on Sunday. Might be tomorrow, might be Monday. I haven't decided yet. Probably tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night. And tonight, of course, it'll be the Cincinnati Reds 1990 History Maker replay in Philadelphia, Game 2 of that series. We'll get that done. Rick Mailer against Bruce 2 minutes for Ruffin for the Phillies. So that's going to do it from here. Again, thank you all for spending part of your Saturday with me. And if you're still around after all this time, after the blowout, I definitely appreciate that. And that'll do it. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.